In today's video, I made a gingerbread house inside of Bloxburg. Hey glossettes, welcome back. How are you guys doing today? Tell me down below. As usual, I'm doing great because finally it's day one of Glossmas. December has officially started and I'm going to be posting every single day until Christmas for you all. As usual, we're going to be building a gingerbread house in Bloxburg to start off the Christmassy content. However, before we start the build, there's something else we have to do first because of course the Glossmas advent calendar is back for another year. Now as usual, if you want to skip to where we actually start building, there's a timestamp on screen now as well as along the progress bar to skip ahead to. But if you want to know who's behind door number 1 on the Glossmas advent calendar this year, then let's go take a look. This is this year's calendar. I have slightly upgraded it from last year. We're going to zoom in here and take a look behind door number 1. And the first person in this year's calendar is Corey. Now Corey is actually a chef for Delicious Delights, which is like a Bloxburg food catering company. And back in November, I actually ordered a ton of food from them, which Corey along with Peach and Ari made for me. Now I did want to add Peach and Ari into this as well. However, they were both in the calendar last year and I don't want to repeat it. But yeah, all three of them made all this Bloxburg food for me so I could prepare for the elf hunt. And it was an insane amount of food and they made it so quickly. Corey was so lovely and did a great job and she was so helpful. So thank you so much, Corey, and welcome to the Glossmas advent calendar. Anyways, now that we've opened today's door, it's time to get into the build, starting with the structure of the gingerbread house. This year, I really wanted to make it a bit more detailed as my previous gingerbread houses have been pretty basic. So as most Bloxburg builders do, I went straight to Pinterest for inspiration because I really wanted to find something that wasn't kind of just like a flat square house. And eventually I came across this picture here, which is actually AI, but I didn't notice until like halfway through the video. But anyways, it has this adorable little kind of porch area and I really liked how the shape of the house looks. So this is today's inspiration. I thought the porch would be really cute. Anyways, I then got on to building and I started to build the structure first before I kind of started to properly record, as I knew this needed a custom roof and they take so long to build. And the reference also had kind of like an upstairs window that I wanted to include, which was going to take even longer. So once I placed down the walls, I started on the custom roof and I used a mixture of basic shaped squares and triangles for this. I first added the main panels together, which were actually really difficult to line up and kind of work out how high the roof should go because I didn't want it to look really pointy. But once we were all done with that, I then made the window bit that kind of sticks out on the roof and I made this out of basic shapes too. And next I filled up the side walls of the roof and the middle part of this is actually just a normal wall just to make sure I can put actual windows in here. However, because it's got a slanted roof, obviously normal walls wouldn't fit the whole way across, so I had to make the sides with basic shapes to make sure it was filled in properly and wasn't glitching through the roof. And after I'd finished that, I went back to kind of the window area and edited this a bit because the inside looked a mess. What I had to do was make it so this mini roof kind of didn't clip inside the big roof. And then finally I added a roof on the inside which was the same height as a normal Bloxburg roof to make sure I could actually use ceiling lights. And then I added some short walls around the room too, so everything was kind of smooth for the second floor because this is actually going to be the bedroom area. And then once this was done, the main structure was pretty much complete. Anyways, this is what I've done. So I've done a bit of work off camera. As you can see, I've added kind of like the structure of the porch. And what I've done is I've lowered the ground around kind of outside of the house. So this is actually going into the basement. So this is like the ground level and it's kind of below that now to make sure that the porch can actually be on the ground level. Because obviously, normally they kind of be like placed on top of the ground and it's really annoying because the doors kind of like get shoved up the wall and it just looks really odd, okay? Do you get what I mean? But yeah, this is what the porch kind of structure looks like so far. I also added this on the side. This is kind of just to mark where the chimney's gonna go. And then the other thing I did was the kind of like floor plan inside. So the front door is gonna be here and then this room in here is gonna be the kitchen. We're gonna have like a living room and dining room in here. The fireplace is gonna be on this wall and then we have the stairs and then this is kind of like a little room in here and I don't know whether to make it like a really small kind of pantry or something or maybe just like a bookshelf that's kind of in the wall. This is upstairs and guys, I'm adding a bathroom in this one. So many of you get annoyed at me for not putting bathrooms in my builds, like when I make kind of like stupid houses. Like I think the candy corn house we made last year and maybe last year's gingerbread house didn't have a bathroom and people get so mad at me. So I've given in to peer pressure and we've got a bathroom in there. And then this is the big bedroom space, but I kind of feel like it's too big. Like I wanted this house to be bigger than usual, but maybe should we like close it off a little bit like this. And then, I don't know, I'm trying to think of ways to make it smaller. Oh my gosh, wait, we could kind of have like wardrobes in here. I feel like this looks better. Maybe, I don't know. We'll deal with that in a second. Hang on. The only other thing I've done is over here, I've kind of got like a bunch of different gingerbread colors. And this is the color I usually use. So this one here is just the linen color, but with the concrete texture. And that usually looks really nice. But then I kind of like experimented with two more and it looks so kind of gray compared to these two. So I think we're going to go for the one in the middle. And the first thing we're going to do is basically just color the entire thing gingerbread. I also really want to kind of have like gingerbread trees outside as well instead of kind of like normal ones. After we've colored it all, I think I'm going to add like the windows and the door, and then we're going to decorate with kind of like gumdrops and kind of lollipops and stuff like that. And a lot of kind of the hacks I used last year, which I haven't actually shown you guys yet, I don't think. So this was last year's, and as you can see, I kind of used like gingerbread men and like pillows and stuff to be candy. And this is pretty much the vibe we're going for, except we're going to make it look better than this because now I'm looking at it, this one kind of didn't look the best. Oh goodness. You see, I thought this one was great. In my head, I was like, oh my god, last year's was so good, and I'm looking at it now and I feel like we could do a lot better than this. This isn't as cool as I thought it was. Why is my screen over here? Anyways, I am gonna start coloring literally every single surface over here whilst I tell you why I'm so annoyed right now. Okay, I'm kind of not annoyed anymore, but basically it is, what time is it? It is 1 p.m. right now, okay? Like, I've been sat here since 9 a.m. waiting to be able to record. Just sat at my PC, sat trying to distract myself. What could have possibly delayed me for 4 hours to sit and wait? And the answer to that is the stupid construction going on next door. My next door neighbors are getting like a bunch of work done to their house, which hasn't been that loud until today when they've suddenly decided to ramp it up. They have been drilling and hammering on the wall, like on my bedroom wall, like the back of my bedroom wall, because our houses are connected. Like if I tried to record, I guarantee that it would probably drown my voice out. But yeah, I've been barely able to hear myself think for the past 4 hours. And finally, I think they've went on their lunch break. The construction van drove away and I'm like, oh my god, I need to take this moment and record as much as possible. Also, I think for this window up here, we're gonna have kind of like a heart window shape. So I'm gonna have to try and make that in a second. I think what I'm gonna do is start decorating the roof a little bit because I'm kind of unsure on what I want the windows to look like, so I'm kind of just gonna leave them for now. But yeah, we're gonna try and kind of ice the roof because obviously a lot of the detail comes from kind of drawing on with structurals to kind of make it look like you're icing a gingerbread house. I think snow would be pretty good for the sides though. It kind of looks like dripping icing. Oh, can I not place it on the roof? If you probably can't tell, I'm filming this before the Christmas updates came out, so I can't use the kind of like structurals unless I just place them like this. Oh my gosh. Oh, wait, I can. Oh my gosh, normally you can't do this if like the update isn't in game. You can normally only place them like this, but I think they've changed it because I can do the custom. Oh my gosh, wait, that's so good. Oh my gosh, wait, this is gonna be so cute. I don't know whether to kind of make the roof look like the icing is like snow, to kind of cover the entire roof instead of just like kind of doing little patterns. Speaking of snow, it's meant to snow tomorrow and oh my gosh, I'm so excited. If you don't know, I'm from the north of England and I feel like we don't really get snow in England anymore, and it's really annoying because I love snow, but it's meant to snow kind of like all night tonight, so I'm hoping it does because I feel like the weather reports kind of lie sometimes. It snowed a tiny bit kind of like a week or so ago. At like 1 in the morning I woke up and it was snowing, but it was like so tiny you could barely see it. I only saw it because we have security cameras on the outside of my house and it kind of picked it up really well, but when you actually went outside you could barely see it. But yeah, this is the first commentary video I have done in such a long time because I pretty much took all of October off to work on the movie. If you didn't know, I did a Ghostbusters type movie called the GLOSSBusters, and it took pretty much all of October and some of September to do. So I haven't done like a kind of proper build and talk video since like maybe even before September. I don't even know if I did one then. Oh wait, I might have done the go-kart track then. I can't remember, to be honest. So I'm struggling to be able to like talk quite relaxed. I keep stumbling over my words, which I kind of do anyways, but I feel like it's kind of increased a little bit because I'm so not used to doing this anymore. But I have like 50 billion Christmas videos to record, so I'm gonna have to, you know, get used to this again quite quickly. So I started doing all the kind of icing on the build, and most of the time I do just normally use the round structural rod for this, like you can see on the pillars. However, I really wanted to make it so the icing looks more realistic this year and kind of bumpy. Like, I'll put a picture on screen now, you know what I mean, where it's kind of like little bumps. You see it with like cake icing and things like that. So what I did to kind of like make this was I put a bunch of spheres close together on a basic shaped cube to make kind of like this icing bump, and I thought it just looked so much better than kind of having like a flat structural rod, although they do kind of look like Mentos and I genuinely cannot get that image out my head, but just pretend it doesn't, okay? So I basically put these everywhere you'd usually put wall trims to obviously kind of look like the icing sticking the gingerbread house together and adding detail. And just overall, I spent ages adding different icing details, like covering the roof to make it look like snow and then doing the windows and stuff like that. And the windows took like 3 attempts because I just couldn't kind of work out a design that looked good. I wanted to have kind of like shutters on them at one point, but it just didn't look very nice. And of course I'm having to voice this over like after, because that construction work I was talking about, it's going on for like 3 days. So yeah, it was very noisy all day because they're taking down like a huge brick wall next door or something so they can get an extension, which explains why it's so noisy. Also, I had another disaster because my 2 new kittens, who I don't actually think I've showed you guys on here yet. Basically, I got 2 kittens. We'll get to that in a different video, but basically they smashed a glass bauble off the Christmas tree, so I had to clean that up, and Humph, who's the boy kitten, keeps eating the tinsel off the tree as well, like spaghetti. But anyways, I then made kind of like the outside of the chimney kind of like a structure out of basic shapes because I really wanted to have kind of like a cute chimney as well. And then I decided to tackle the heart window, which is always like one of the worst things to make in builds because I find heart shapes so difficult to make. But pretty much I just spent ages piecing it together with triangle basic shapes. It took me like 5 attempts to do this as well, and eventually it turned out kind of looking like a heart. So to match it all together, I used the spheres again to kind of make it look like the icing was like around the window frame as well. And honestly, it looks so cute. Like, this is my favorite part of the build. I was so proud of this, even if it did like take 2 hours. And then of course, to make it into a window, I added a transparent basic shape in it for kind of like the glass pane, and then I used a structural piece and I added some window frame lines to kind of match the other windows, and then I added icing all the way up the chimney, and that also took hours. Like, it was worth it because the icing looks so much better this way, but it just took so long for all the extra detail. I finished covering the roof in icing, and then I added the snow beams down the side to kind of make it match the front, as well as finishing all the windows and adding more smaller ones upstairs. And I finally added some kind of swirly details with the structural rod to make it look a bit more detailed, which I could not get symmetrical for the life of me. So I ended up having to do this on a basic shape and then just copying it and kind of flipping it around so everything would match. And that was pretty much it, I think. So I think the icing's all done, and oh my goodness me, I'm sorry, but this genuinely looks adorable. Like, this puts all my previous kind of gingerbread builds to shame. This thing is beautiful. I love this. The little heart window is so cute. However, I don't want to know how expensive this thing cost because I had 3.7 million when I started building this, and now I have 3.3. So we've spent like, hang on, oh my, okay, this whole thing is $500,000, and this is all we've done. We haven't decorated it or furnished it at all. The plot data is only 16%, but I do have the extra 40, so that's technically like 56%. So we've used a lot of data up already and a lot of money, which is kind of concerning, but not gonna lie, it's because all of these little like sphere things were so expensive. Like, each one of these windows are so expensive. It's because of these things, okay? I feel like they look so good, so I don't really mind. Anyways, so what we're gonna do now is quickly finish off the outside by kind of decorating this. So we're gonna add kind of like loads of like peppermint things kind of stuck on the ceiling and things like that. I think we can make them, yeah, we can make them bigger, so it should look really good kind of having them like, hang on, let me kind of show you what I mean. Oh, that one's a weird shape, kind of like on the thing dotted about. So we're gonna stick some of those down, some gumdrops, some lollipops. We're kind of gonna do what I did for last year's where it just has a bunch of things stuck on it, but I'm gonna have to grab everything out of my inventory. See, this is why I stock up on Christmas things, because it means I can build stuff like this whenever I want. Oh yeah, I have an update on the snow. You know how I was saying? Actually, I can't even remember. I swear I said it in the video already, but basically it was meant to snow. It was meant to snow last night, and it was meant to snow for like 2 days, and it hasn't, and I'm so disappointed. Like, it has snowed everywhere in England, I swear, but just not here. And where I live was meant to kind of be like the only place to get snow, and it's the only place that hasn't. I feel so betrayed. I was so excited. You know what we need to do? We need to work out how to do gingerbread trees. But I haven't kind of, I don't know whether to make like custom ones out of maybe cones or something, or if we can recolor like an existing tree. Like, where are the snowy ones? Hang on. Like, if we grab this one, can I make this gingerbread? Oh my gosh, wait, we can. Okay, wait. And then if I make this the snow texture, oh my gosh, wait, no, this would work. Oh my gosh, wait, this fits so well. Stop, this is adorable. Anyways, what I'm gonna do is just basically sprinkle a bunch of these on the roof. How cute do the peppermints look though? I feel like the peppermint pillow item is just so cute. I really wish they'd do a new candy cane one though, because I feel like we need kind of like a basic candy cane, like the lollipops or something, because the only ones we have are the little kind of candy cane lights. And then where's the big one? This one, the huge candy cane, but it's like, it's not very good. You can't have symmetrical ones. It can only kind of go this way, and it's just, you get what I mean? Like, it's not like the cutest. It's a very old item. I feel like we need a new candy cane that's kind of more in the style of these, because little candy canes on the roof would also be very adorable. Next, what we're gonna do is add the gingerbread men kind of all over the roof. I feel like this is kind of sadistic, because if this is a gingerbread house, then the gingerbread men probably live in it, and I'm just kind of like placing them on the roof. It feels kind of cruel, okay? I'm just excited to kind of get the outside done. Oh wait, no, you can't transform these because they're not pillows. Hang on. I'm gonna have to use a basic shape for the gingerbread. Anyways, I'm just excited to get the outside done so we can work on the inside, because I really want to make some kind of cool gingerbread furniture this year. So I've finished the outside. Well, most of it. It looks like I've done a lot, but I'm gonna go through what I've done. I swear I haven't done loads. It just looks very detailed. First of all, we have all the decorations on the roof. I was kind of going for the vibe of like, you know, if a child was trying to make a gingerbread house and they just kind of dump all the sprinkles on the top. I also added the gumdrops kind of like up here instead, because I feel like stereotypically you kind of normally do this on the top of the roof anyways. Like, people always line the gumdrops up like this, but I had to do it like this because the gumdrops aren't transformable. So even if I put these on a basic shape, I can't transform and rotate them, so I couldn't actually put them on the roof. But honestly, I think it looks even better like this. I really like the kind of pink strip. I've also done some stuff down here, so I added a bunch of the trees to look like gingerbread trees, the lollipops, and just some decorations. I kind of added these so it kind of looks like the things on the roof are like falling off and they've kind of landed in the icing on the floor. I don't know, you can kind of see some like falling off down the sides as well. I added this little pathway with these garden stone thingies. I can't remember what they're called, stepping stones. And then what else did I do? Oh yeah, I added the archways along here, so I think this looks so much better. I do kind of feel cruel. I was gonna have one of the gingerbread men so it looked like he was kind of like hanging on to the roof about to fall off. I mean, this guy's already going through it enough. He's already hanging down, fearing for his life. But that's pretty much everything I've done. I feel like it looks like I've done a lot, but I didn't really do that much. It was just, it took a long time to kind of figure out how to space these out. So let's move on to the interior. If you go in here, I have actually placed some stuff down. I just wanted to kind of like figure out how to space the furniture out. So we're gonna have like a sitting area over here, a dining table, the kitchen. I did actually make kind of like a block smaller, so it's kind of more cozy. So this is where the kitchen's gonna be. Look at that little guy in the window over there. And a gingerbread Christmas tree. But for this one, I really want to put a lot of effort into the furniture. In previous years, I feel like I put a lot of effort into kind of like the exterior, making it look like a gingerbread house. But then inside, all I do is kind of color a few things gingerbread color, and then the rest is kind of normal furniture. So for this one, I really want to put the effort in to make sure it looks like everything's made out of gingerbread or kind of candy. However, I'm quickly gonna go and add all the wall trims. So I came up with kind of doing this on the inside as well for kind of like the top and bottom. You know, you can see where it's all glued together with the icing sugar. So I'm gonna do that quickly. I've just sat and done all the wall trims and also added like the little kind of shelf thing in the wall. And we are now gonna move on to the kitchen, which I'm so excited for. I don't know whether I want to have a kitchen island, but what we need to do before we kind of decorate in here is kind of finish the structure. I did place down the shaker cabinets because we're on a budget now, guys. This whole house is way too expensive. So we have some basic cabinets, but what we need to do is we need to decorate them with icing so they look like kind of like gingerbread cabinets, kind of like what we've done on the pillars out here. Can you see how there's like white outlines? I'm kind of just going over all the corners, so I'll add like the handles and stuff. Oh wait, we can just do this for the handles if we just make them white like this. Also, I have a story time whilst we do this, which is completely unrelated to the video, but someone in my Discord server was talking about how they want to eat like sugar, you know, like the actual kind of powder sugar, and it reminded me of something I did when I was like 7 or something. So basically, I was in the kitchen one day, okay, and no one was in the kitchen. I was in the kitchen by myself, and I saw this bowl on the bench, and it looked like it was sugar because it was like this white kind of powder. So I thought it was sugar, and I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna be sneaky and I'm gonna eat some of the sugar because I don't know. I don't really know why I wanted to eat the sugar, but I grabbed like a teaspoon and I was like, okay, we're gonna have a spoonful of sugar. And I took a spoonful out of this bowl and I put it in my mouth, and I immediately like was disgusted because it was not sugar. Like, it tasted horrific, and I was like, oh my god, what on earth was in the bowl? And I looked on the counter next to where the bowl was, and there was this kind of box of like, I can't remember what it was, but it was basically chemicals for something. And I was like, oh my gosh, what if it's it's like the stuff from inside the box, I was panicking that I'd like poisoned myself. I genuinely thought I'd like poisoned myself or something. And I like ran to the fridge and I spat out whatever it was like behind the fridge. And then I realized it was salt. It wasn't poisonous chemicals, it was just a bowl of salt and I decided to eat it. To be fair, it's kind of like karma. Like, I don't know why I decided to do that, but yeah, that story just always sticks out in my head because I was so scared I'd like eaten some chemicals. So that's a life lesson for you guys. Don't eat bowls of random stuff. I have like a list in my notes app on my phone, which is like stupid things I did as a child. If I run out of things to say in videos, I'll just, you know, open the list and pick a random thing to tell you guys. I'm trying to think of like tile ideas so we can have tiles, and also we need to make like a custom kind of oh, what are they called? I always forget what they're called. Where are they? This thing, the kind of oven hoods. Because this is like such a small gap, I think we're gonna make a custom version of this that kind of fits in here, but I also need tiles. I'm thinking maybe candy cane. Oh my gosh, wait, hang on, I have an idea. What if we use, because I'm trying to kind of keep the room themes to match the outside, like all of these kind of things on the roof. What if we use the peppermints as tiles? Like if I resize them to kind of be smaller, because we could paint the kind of like this strip of wall white so it looks like the icing, and then we can have these. I feel like that would look really cute, but I just don't know how many peppermint pillows I have. Wait, so I've made the kind of structure that goes over the oven, and not gonna lie, it's kind of just like a smaller, more gingerbready version of this, which was like a kitchen build I did a couple months ago. I've just kind of stolen this and made it smaller, but I think it looks pretty cute. And I've also added these kind of lanterns as the lights because I feel like these look like, you know, the flying saucer sweets that have like sherbet inside. I don't know if that's just a UK thing, but they kind of remind me of those. But what we're gonna do now is we are going to attempt to make these kind of peppermint tiles, and I have a bunch of pillows down here. First of all, I'm just gonna kind of like blank out the back. Oh, also, I kind of feel like we should do this for the countertops because I feel like it kind of breaks up the gingerbread more, but I don't know how it'll look once the wall's done, so we're just gonna have to see what looks best after we've kind of covered the wall. But yeah, I'm just gonna make the wall kind of like icing. Obviously the peppermints need to stick onto something. There we go. So that is the back wall, and now what we're gonna do is just use all of these and try and kind of put them on the wall. We need one in this corner, but I feel like if I add one, it's just gonna stick through the wall. So maybe, I mean, we could kind of put something on the wall to cover it because this is kind of like a big space. Okay, it doesn't stick out that much actually. The gaps it leaves in the middle are kind of big, so I'm kind of thinking we add like mini ones in the gaps. Oh wait, that's kind of cute. So it's the next day now and I have finished all of the tiles. I don't think we actually need to have kind of like the mini ones. Like I feel like if we added all of these in between the gaps, it would kind of look too crowded because I think this looks pretty good. So we're gonna get rid of that one. But look how adorable this is. I think this looks so cute. Also, I did end up changing the counter to the icing one. I asked you guys in the Discord server and you said you preferred this, so we went with this one. And then I also added the kind of kitchen island thing here. But what we're gonna do now is quickly get the kitchen finished because we're pretty much nearly done. All we really need to do is add some kind of like kitchen items. Okay, that's kind of like the back counters done. I don't know how I feel about it. It's kind of hard to think of like items that make sense in a gingerbread house. This cup is red because we're gonna pretend this is like a little candy or something. But yeah, this is kind of all the back decoration. And now what we're gonna do is quickly decorate the counter and just make it look like they're kind of baking gingerbread. I'm gonna make some kind of like little dough gingerbread men that kind of look like they haven't been cooked yet. This is the best I can do. Okay, they kind of do look like they've been in the oven and they've just kind of like expanded. And then later on at the end of the build, we'll add like actual kind of gingerbread and stuff like that. And that is the kitchen pretty much done for now. I can't think of anything else to add. So what we're going to do is move on to the kind of living area. And as you can see, I have actually started working here. So earlier I actually made this. I made kind of all the chairs because I kind of was like just trying to figure out how we could make them look more gingerbread. And this is what I got. So I kind of just added like the icing down the sides. And then for the pillows, obviously I used kind of everything we put on the roof, which is meant to kind of be like little sprinkles. And then we even have a little gummy bear over here, and I covered his face up to kind of make it look more like a gummy bear, but I think he just kind of looks a bit scary, but it's fine. It's fine. He's kind of cute. I kind of did some work on the fireplace. It's not finished because I kind of got bored and just kept doing the kitchen, but I added this kind of garland thing, and obviously we need everything to kind of look like it's edible, so this is meant to be a gummy worm, but I don't know how effective that was. I don't know what to do for the fireplace. I don't know whether we have like a TV on here or just like a painting. I think a painting would probably look best. We're gonna gonna add a kind of nice little carpet here. I don't know whether, oh my gosh, wait, I don't know whether to have kind of like a coffee table or not, but what I do want to do is kind of make like a lamp that looks like a lollipop. I feel like it would be kind of cool if we made kind of a lamp that looks like, you know, those kind of more transparent lollipops. So this basic shape here is kind of gonna slant over like this, and this is gonna be the kind of lollipop stick. And then what we're gonna do, actually, let me make that a bit taller. Then what we're gonna do is grab another one of the cylinders, but this one is gonna be transparent kind of a little bit, and we're gonna make this red. Hang on, let me make the stem white. I might have to layer this twice because I feel like this is kind of too transparent. We're gonna have to figure out a way to kind of add light, maybe a round candle, because this is kind of transparent. Maybe it'll kind of blend in more. Okay, wait, this kind of looks cool. It kind of looks like a, you know, like a bubblegum center. We could even kind of put like a wrapper on it maybe. The final thing I'm gonna do is kind of add like a base on it so it just kind of looks more lamp like. So we're just gonna do this, and there we go. There is our lollipop lamp. We need some gingerbread presents. So it's been like an hour and I've kind of nearly finished this room. I added, can you see down here, I added this colorful rug, and it's meant to look like, you know, like the are they called rainbow belts, like the kind of sweets that are like these rainbow strips. I thought that would be cool to kind of add for the carpet instead of just using the kind of plain white ones. And I also added that on the stairs, and then on the walls I decided to add it so it kind of looks like the things from the roof are kind of stuck in icing on the walls. And this was strategic, okay? This was to cover up the kind of peppermint that was sticking through the wall. But I also think it just adds kind of a better detail than just having like decals on there, because it fits so well with the outside. So that was kind of like a really good way to fill space. And then I added the lollipop kind of above here to kind of be like a light for the table. I think for now we're gonna move on to upstairs, because I also have done quite a lot of work up here as well. So this is the bedroom, and I actually did this before I kind of did the living room and everything. I was kind of just experimenting with the theme, but I made this gingerbread bed, and then I kind of added all the things off the roof as the pillows to kind of match it together. And then I added the snowflakes on the kind of duvet to make it look like a pattern. I added the lollipop up here again to kind of tie it into downstairs, and the gummy bear again. And we have like a little seating area in here. This was going to be a wardrobe, but I felt like it kind of looked a bit weird. But yeah, this is the bedroom so far. So what we're going to do is we are going to finish off the bedroom and the bathroom, and then we're pretty much done. And I'll pretty much be able to just go and kind of edit any little details. So we're going to hurry up and get this finished. And the first thing I want to do is add a gingerbread mirror. Also, doing this to the furniture, kind of like the all these lines, it reminds me of like 3D art, like pop art. I don't know what you call it, but I saw this video and someone made like a 3D Bloxburg cafe. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's kind of like the drawings, the 3D drawings. It reminds me of that. This is such a cute area though. I feel like we need some fairy lights or something over here. I don't know what else to add. My brain is gone completely blank, but I think we're kind of done in here. There's not really much I can add for a gingerbread bedroom. Maybe I'll add some stuff at the end if I can think of anything, but what we're gonna do is move on to the bathroom, and this is what the bathroom looks like. So I have obviously added some stuff in here already, kind of just the basic structure of everything, because obviously I have to add these super lines on everything. But what I want to do for in here is I want to make it look like the bath is kind of like, instead of bubbles, it's full of like candy floss, but I don't know how well that's gonna work. But that's pretty much my vision, and maybe we can have like a gingerbread man in the bathtub. I'm gonna have this like foil texture on it because I feel like that's kind of close, and we're just gonna add a bunch of kind of basic shaped spheres in here and kind of just make it look like it's candy floss. I feel like no one's gonna know what it is by looking at it, but it's fine, it's fine. Maybe we could even have some like transparent kind of ones as well. There we go. There's our candy floss bath all done. Definitely realistic looking. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add a gingerbread man kind of in the bath. We're just gonna put him in like this. There we go. Oh my gosh, wait, that's adorable. This is our other lollipop light. Is that gonna go into the kitchen? Oh, are you joking me? Okay, we'll deal with that later. I'm also gonna add some more of our kind of garlands in here. So we'll put some in the bedroom, the kind of, oh my gosh, why did it do that? Oh wait, hang on. If we have this one upside down, kind of leading on, it could kind of look more like a gummy worm than the one downstairs. Hang on, does that look kind of gummy worm like? I feel like that's pretty good. Wait, we'll do the same here. We'll flip this upside down. It looks more worm like this way. There's a few more little details I need to do, as well as kind of adding some stuff on the porch out here, and then we're pretty much done. So what I'm gonna do, oh yeah, I forgot to say, I added the lollipops up here as well. But yeah, what I'm gonna do is in a second, I think I'm gonna go and just finish off the final details, and then we'll do a final tour. The last thing I'm I'm gonna do before I do that though is I really want to add, you know, like kind of like strawberry laces. I want to add those as the beams across the ceiling because I feel like we need more detail on the ceiling. So what we're gonna do is just grab a structural rod like this and kind of just do wiggly lines across the ceiling. We'll do one first and we'll see how it looks. Okay, let me get a good texture for this. Wait, this is kind of cute. I feel like this could look really good. It's just hard to angle the camera to kind of like see the ceiling. There we go. There's a second one. See, they're very wiggly. Okay, there we go. I've added them all in the upstairs rooms as well. So we're pretty much kind of done for most of the details. So what I'm going to go and do is kind of finish everything else and add the decals, and I will see you guys for the final tour. So the gingerbread house is finally all complete and we are going to take a little tour. I can't believe how cute this looks from the outside. The only annoying thing is the sun is coming from like the side. So the lighting doesn't look very good because I've built it kind of facing this way. But oh my goodness, this thing is adorable. I'm so proud of this. So of course, to start off with, we have all our gingerbread trees in kind of outside area and the porch. I think making this kind of like a curved porch was such a good idea. The arches look so good. The roof is definitely my favorite. The roof and the heart window, it just looks so adorable, and the lollipops up there, like oh my goodness, look at this thing. But let's go have a look inside. So first of all, for the porch, I didn't really add anything. I added the garlands over the windows because it kind of tied in nicely with the one kind of on the door, and I added a gingerbread man and a lollipop down here, but I couldn't think of anything to add kind of on the porch, so it's kind of just basic. When you walk inside, obviously we come into the kind of living area, the living and dining room. Obviously we have our lovely little gingerbread Christmas tree, our kind of seating area with the lollipop lamp. I love these so much. I think the decals really kind of tie it together as well with the colors. The little dining area looks super cute with more decals up there. I added some kind of gingerbread flowers. I think it just looks so kind of bright and colorful in here. I really like it. It definitely looks very kind of candy filled. And then of course we have the kitchen, which I thought was going to be my favorite room, but honestly I think I prefer the living room over the kitchen. That's kind of floating, but this also looks pretty adorable. I absolutely love the peppermint ball, but yeah, it's very cute in here. We have our kind of gingerbread baking area, very simple little kitchen. And then of course, if we go upstairs, our kind of rainbow staircase up here, we have the little hallway, and then we're going to go into the bathroom, which is kind of cramped. It's kind of hard to kind of see everything. I feel like the bathroom's pretty small, but we have our candy floss bathtub with the little gingerbread man here. This is also super cozy, very simple. I didn't really add kind of much decor in here. And then of course we have the bedroom, which I also love. I love this area so much. Like the bed looks really good. I put a lot of effort into the bed. I normally don't put that much effort into kind of decorating beds and things like that, but I love the snowflakes, and I just think this whole kind of area looks so cozy, very cute. We have our desk area and the kind of dressing area, and of course this kind of little seat in here, which is adorable. And that's pretty much it. I really do love this bedroom though. And then of course we have our little heart window. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to be able to top this. I think this is going to be my favorite build for this year. But anyways, that is it for today's video. That is my gingerbread house all complete. Let me know what you think about it down below. I'm so proud of this one, and if you've reached this far, then please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'm getting so close to 100k. But yeah, that is all for today. As usual, a huge shout out to my channel members and Nitro boosters. Thank you so much for joining the channel and boosting the Discord server. I love you all, and in general, I love you all so much, glossettes. I hope you have a very merry Glossmas. XOXO, Glossy Gal.